From the KATC Weatherland, here's Rob's forecast.
Welcome back. Well, some showers tonight, some humid weather as well. Temperatures and dew points gradually settle down into the low to mid 70s, but that means patchy fog in spots and sweaty windows out there this evening. And man, walking into the station, the crickets are going wild out there as well. A lot of that going on this year after such a high heat summer, I guess. So let's take a look at what's going on now. We have high pressure down to the south of us, and that's opened up the door for some disturbances to move on through. But more importantly, I'm looking at this upper low here in Canada. That is going to be swinging down a frontal trough in our area. That gets here late tomorrow night, early Sunday morning with the drier air to follow. So it's going to feel really good going into Sunday evening. Sunday's going to be a nice breezy day, still in the 90s though, but the humidity will be coming down and we have a nice stretch of weather ahead. In the near term, as we take a look at what's going on across the Gulf Coast, we have this little bit of a frontal trough here and another disturbance that's riding on through that could produce severe weather later on tonight across New Mexico, portions of Texas. We're not going to see that. That's going to be heading generally to the east-southeast, but some active storms this afternoon on the regional Doppler radars. Most of the heavier activity now down by Corpus Christi, down into the lower Rio Grande. Just a lot of ground clutter showing up close to home and also on Power Doppler 3, which also tells us that the air is humid, it's stable, and that's why we'll go with a little patchy fog and sweaty windows out there overnight tonight. So let's back it up over 8 hours. We can see the showers and storms pushing west to east across the area. No severe weather, and southwest Louisiana got a nice soaking. Calcasieu, portions of Cameron, also Jeff Davis Parish, also Vermilion Parish, and then the showers dissipated with the loss of the daytime heating. And we might see a few tomorrow, but they're going to be down along the coast and then moving offshore quick during the course of the afternoon. So we see the storms down in South Texas. The big picture out in the tropics, we have 1, 2, 3, and there's Mr. 4 coming off of the coast. That could be down the line. That could be Ophelia, so not a Mr. or Ms. This is tropical depression number 15. That's going to be tropical storm Nigel. We have Margot kind of sitting and spinning out here in the northeast Atlantic, and then of course Hurricane Lee. Lee is the main game for the next 36 hours as tropical storm force winds beginning to work their way into coastal portions of New England this evening. Not much of a hurricane now. It looks more like an extratropical system, and it's actually doing that right now, and will eventually shoot off to the northeast. But right now, some of the heavier convection on the northwest side, so that's going to impact Maine and then up into New Brunswick and portions of Nova Scotia. Halifax are going to get some action as well. Still an 80-mile-per-hour storm, but a huge radius of tropical storm force winds, and you see that connects all the way through New England and then way out all the way to the east on Nova Scotia. It will die down below Category 1 status, we think. And then look, the National Hurricane Center saying 75 here, and they're making it extra tropical by first thing tomorrow morning, making landfall tomorrow afternoon. Tropical storm warnings across a good part of New England. As we move it on out, we show you the wind field associated with Lee, and it's huge. Notice this next one. This is going to be Nigel. The models are going for Category 3 on this one, but that's going to curve out to sea. And of course, we have Margot kind of in her own lonely place out there in the Atlantic. So this is the way it's going to look on the as we look at the European model. Nigel looking like Bermuda's going to have to watch this one very closely, but should curve out to sea, not impact the U.S. There's Margot still hanging on, and that could be Ophelia down the line. So far, so good for the Gulf of Mexico. Looks pretty quiet through most of the month, but we get into October, some funky things may change, and we might see some action in the Gulf of Mexico. But in El Nino years, if something were to develop here, it would probably move off to the northeast, but no forecasting that at this point. We'll just keep our fingers crossed. It's been so far so good. As we go overnight tonight, fair to partly cloudy skies, much the same for tomorrow, back into the low to mid 90s. Here comes that frontal boundary tomorrow night into Sunday morning. Breezy and feeling better Sunday afternoon. Temperatures still get into the 90s, but then as we head into Monday morning, look at these temperatures, low to mid 60s for Acadiana. It's going to feel really good as we move into Monday and even Monday afternoon, even though we're still seeing 90s for highs. 72 the overnight low tonight. Rain chances dying off down to near zero. And then for tomorrow, we'll keep rain chances no better than about 5%. A mostly sunny day. Warm conditions and light and variable winds out there. As we move into the 10-day forecast, after 89 yesterday, it's back to the 90s at least for the next 10, 11 days. 93 was the high today, but look at those morning starts. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning, mid-60s in Lafayette, which means lower 60s for northern portions of Acadiana.
And it's low 90s.
Right, except it's just warm. We used to call that hot. It's just warm now.
Yeah, love it. Thanks, Rob.